In today's video, I discuss what foods you should eat and avoid when you have SIBO, IBS and other digestive issues. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before I jump into the video, just a quick reminder that I'm now offering the SIBO organic acid stool tests and consult via my website. So if you have any health or digestive problems, then consider taking these tests, as they will provide a lot of very detailed information upon which you can start making informed decisions and then start getting your health back on track. And on that bombshell, to the video. So quite simply, there is no perfect way of eating when you have digestive issues. Now I know that's super unhelpful, but stick with me as I'll give you some specific guidelines in a short while. But the thing that you need to get into your mind now is that there is really no perfect dietary approach if you have digestive issues. Now without question, I would absolutely suggest that you avoid gluten, processed refined sugars, and also processed refined foods. So you want to be eating as close to whole foods as possible. As I tell all of my patients, when you have digestive issues and you eat gluten, the gluten will go into the gut and it releases a protein called zonulin. And zonulin can pull apart your intestinal wall lining and create intestinal permeability or leaky gut. Therefore, processed refined foods, processed refined sugars and gluten for many would be important to eliminate from the diet to help heal the gut. Also, some people may be particularly sensitive to soy, for example, but the biggest takeaway that I will give you from this video is that you shouldn't pick a dietary approach based on your diagnosis or what the internet tells you. So for example, if you have IBS or SIBO, you may have watched videos online or read material that says the only way to fix these issues is to go on a low carbohydrate diet. The problem with these blanket term approaches is that many people will avoid carbohydrates only to realise later down the line that they weren't actually the problem, and their healing timeline could have been shorter by keeping them in their diet. I can't tell you how many people that I speak to on a weekly basis who put themselves on a very restrictive diet just because the internet or social media tells them that they can't fix SIBO while eating carbohydrates. And you can't heal the gut while consuming lectins or oxalates in your diet. Now it's true for some people this may be necessary, but you have to identify personally what foods are causing your issues so you know what foods to remove from your diet and not base this on what everyone else is doing. So again, if you have IBS, SIBO or any other digestive issues, then don't base your dietary decision based solely on your test results or any other diagnosis that you may have received. So for example, I have helped maybe 1,500 or 2,000 people this year with their SIBO issues. Now, if you believe the internet, you would have to avoid carbohydrates at all costs. Now it's funny because I can think of maybe 10 people off the top of my head that I've helped with SIBO that have had to go on a low carbohydrate diet because otherwise their condition wouldn't have resolved. For the rest, they were able to fix their SIBO issues with fairly high amounts of carbohydrates. So again, to drive the point home, there is no perfect diet, and it does't matter if you have H. pylori, IBS, SIBO or Candida. The diet that you should follow is the one that makes you feel best while you are treating your issues. And this is obviously with the exception of stupidity, such as drinking your own urine or long-term water fasting. So as most of my viewers are plant-based, focus less on carbohydrates, proteins and fats within your diet and focus more on getting equilibrium in your diet. Now the equilibrium will be a mix of carbohydrates, proteins and fats and other nutrients that help you feel better while you are treating your issues. Now I would personally suggest, if it's possible for you, to try and get as much soluble fibre, insoluble fibre and resistant starch into your diet to help fuel your microbiome. And if you are able to tolerate them, also fermented foods in your diet will be super. But don't sweat this if you can't, just focus on the foods that you can eat and let your practitioner guide you through everything so that you can fix your underlying issues. Obviously, the more your diet is well-rounded, the easier it will be for you to heal the gut by reducing inflammation and boosting diversity in your gut. So the best diet for you to follow is what works best for you, and this will vary from person to person. But as I said earlier, I will give you some general guidelines as you can see on screen now. So if you are plant-based, then as I said just now, you probably want to remove gluten, sugar and processed refined foods from your diet. Now for many, by doing this in conjunction with the protocol given to you by a healthcare practitioner, this may be sufficient for you to heal your gut and digestive issues. So for example, if you have SIBO, you may only need to remove gluten, sugar and processed refined foods from your diet. and then take antimicrobials and other supplements to fix the problem. For others, because of their symptoms, they may have to go on a low FODMAP diet or even a specific carbohydrate diet. But as you can see from this diagram on screen, the higher you go in this landscape, the more restrictive your diet becomes. So if you are reducing allergens and carbohydrates and following a low FODMAP diet, you only want to do this for the shortest time possible while you are fixing your problems. And remember, you don't want to be following restrictive diets for long periods of time. Remember that you build health with diversity in your diet. Restriction will not get you healthy. And when you find a dietary approach that works best for you, ride that wave under the guidance of your practitioner until you have finished their protocol. And then when you know that everything has resolved, you can reintroduce these foods, and it should be usually without too much drama. Now, the last thing that I would like to mention is that if you're going to pull any food out of your diet, you have to ensure that the food that you have removed is replaced with something as equally nutritious and also as calorically dense. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, remember to look after your body because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.